Chapter 14: Potential Risks and Dangers of Fasting. Fasting has gained widespread attention for its benefits, including weight loss, improved metabolic health, and even longevity. However, like any dietary practice, fasting is not without its risks and potential dangers. While many individuals experience positive outcomes, fasting can pose serious health concerns if not approached mindfully, particularly for those with underlying health conditions or those who follow extreme fasting regimens. In this chapter, we will explore the potential risks of fasting, from nutrient deficiencies and metabolic issues to psychological impacts, and examine the individuals for whom fasting may be inappropriate. One of the primary risks associated with fasting is nutrient deficiency. Extended fasting or frequent intermittent fasting without careful planning can lead to a lack of essential vitamins and minerals, particularly if the individual's diet during eating periods is not nutritionally balanced. Vitamins such as B12, vitamin D, iron, calcium, and magnesium can be depleted if fasting periods are long and the meals consumed between fasts are not nutrient-dense. A diet lacking in essential nutrients can lead to a range of health issues, including anemia, bone density loss, muscle weakness, and impaired cognitive function. For this reason, it is critical for those practicing fasting to ensure that they are eating a well-rounded diet, rich in whole foods, during their eating windows. Another risk of fasting is hypoglycemia, or low blood sugar levels, particularly for individuals who have conditions such as diabetes or insulin resistance. Fasting can cause blood sugar levels to drop, especially during longer fasting periods, leading to symptoms such as dizziness, fatigue, irritability, headaches, and even fainting. For diabetics, the dangers of hypoglycemia are particularly pronounced as their bodies may not be able to regulate blood sugar effectively. Those taking medications to manage blood sugar levels should approach fasting with caution and consult a healthcare professional before embarking on a fasting regimen. In some cases, fasting may need to be adjusted or avoided altogether to prevent dangerous fluctuations in blood sugar. Dehydration is another common risk associated with fasting, particularly during longer fasts. Many individuals mistakenly believe that fasting only involves abstaining from food, but adequate hydration is crucial to maintaining overall health during a fast. Without proper water intake, fasting can lead to dehydration, which in turn causes symptoms such as fatigue, headaches, constipation, and dizziness. In severe cases, dehydration can result in kidney problems and electrolyte imbalances, which can be life-threatening if not addressed. It is essential to drink plenty of water throughout the fasting period and to consider replenishing electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, and magnesium, especially during extended fasts. For individuals with a history of eating disorders, fasting can be particularly dangerous. Fasting requires a significant amount of self-control and discipline around food, which can trigger unhealthy thoughts or behaviors in those prone to disordered eating. Individuals who struggle with binge eating disorder, BED, anorexia, or bulimia may find that fasting exacerbates their symptoms, leading to cycles of extreme restriction followed by binge eating or compulsive overeating during eating windows. Additionally, fasting can lead to a preoccupation with food where individuals obsess over meal timing, caloric intake, and hunger cues, creating a negative psychological relationship with eating. For these reasons, fasting is generally not recommended for individuals with active eating disorders or those recovering from them. Fasting can also have significant impacts on the thyroid and metabolic function, particularly when fasting periods are prolonged or frequent. The thyroid gland plays a critical role in regulating metabolism, and some studies suggest that prolonged fasting can lead to a slowed metabolism. When the body enters a fasted state, it may initially burn fat for fuel, but over time, it may also slow down its metabolic rate to conserve energy, particularly if fasting is combined with caloric restriction. This metabolic slowdown can make it harder to lose weight and, in some cases, may lead to weight gain once normal eating patterns are resumed. For individuals with hypothyroidism or other thyroid-related conditions, fasting may further disrupt thyroid function and exacerbate symptoms such as fatigue, cold intolerance, and weight fluctuations. One of the lesser-known risks of fasting is the potential for muscle loss, particularly during prolonged fasts or extreme caloric restriction. While fasting encourages the body to burn fat for fuel, it can also lead to the breakdown of lean muscle tissue, especially if protein intake is insufficient. Muscle mass is crucial for maintaining metabolic health, physical strength, and overall vitality, and significant muscle loss can have long-term consequences on an individual's health and fitness. To mitigate this risk, it is important to consume adequate amounts of protein during eating periods, engage in regular strength training exercises, and avoid excessively long fasts that deplete muscle tissue. In addition to physical risks, fasting can have significant psychological impacts. For some individuals, fasting can lead to irritability, anxiety, or mood swings, particularly if they are not accustomed to prolonged periods without food. This is often due to fluctuations in blood sugar levels and the body's stress response to hunger. Additionally, individuals who rely on food as a source of comfort or stress relief may find that fasting triggers emotional discomfort or heightened stress. In severe cases, fasting can contribute to depression or social isolation, as individuals may avoid social gatherings or meals with family and friends due to their fasting schedule. For those with underlying mental health conditions, fasting should be approached with caution, as it can exacerbate existing emotional or psychological issues. While fasting can have numerous health benefits, it is essential to recognize that not all individuals are suited to fasting, particularly those with specific medical conditions. Individuals with heart disease, liver disease, or kidney disease should consult a healthcare provider before fasting, as prolonged fasting can place additional strain on these organs. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should also avoid fasting, as their nutritional needs are higher during these life stages, and fasting can interfere with the intake of essential nutrients for both mother and child. Additionally, individuals on certain medications, such as blood pressure or blood thinning medications, should be cautious, as fasting can affect how medications are absorbed and processed by the body. In some cases, fasting may lead to the dangerous condition of refeeding syndrome, particularly after extended periods of fasting. Refeeding syndrome occurs when food is reintroduced too quickly after prolonged fasting, leading to a sudden influx of nutrients that the body is not prepared to handle. This can cause a dangerous drop in electrolytes such as phosphate and lead to complications including heart failure, seizures, and respiratory failure. To prevent refeeding syndrome, it is important to reintroduce food gradually after long fasts, focusing on small, nutrient-dense meals that allow the body to adjust to eating again. In conclusion, while fasting can offer numerous health benefits, it is essential to be aware of the potential risks and dangers, especially for individuals with pre-existing health conditions or those following extreme fasting protocols. Nutrient deficiencies, hypoglycemia, dehydration, muscle loss, and psychological impacts are all potential concerns, and fasting should always be approached with caution and care. For many, working with a healthcare provider or nutritionist can help ensure that fasting is done safely and effectively, allowing individuals to reap the benefits while minimizing the risks.